Welcome to the Movies to Watch Before You Die podcast. I'm your host, Dylan, along with my cousin and co-host,
Gab.
And today we are talking about a movie that I have nominated. We are talking about 2020's Palm Springs. Welcome to the Movies to Watch Before You Die podcast. I'm your host, Dylan, along with my cousin and co-host,
Gab.
And today we are talking about a movie I nominated.
No. I did this already in Groundhog Day. You don't get to use my joke.
Same plot device. I could use the same joke.
No, that was mine.
Well, we're talking about Palm Springs, which is spoiler. If you haven't seen it, it's on Hulu. Go watch it. A time loop movie. I do think the best way to watch this movie is if you know nothing about it going in.
Agreed.
And yeah, as somebody who knew nothing, Gab, I'm going to ask you, what the hell was Palm Springs even about?
What's this all been about? What am I working toward?
Explain! As you would a child.
You think you know everything about me, don't you?
I dive at your bottom. I bloody well ought to.
Palm Springs is about Niles, who is played by Andy Samberg, who's been stuck in a time loop at his girlfriend's friend's wedding, and accidentally drags two other people into the time loop and has to figure out a way to get out.
Okay, let's see if IMDb elaborated a little bit more. Niles and Sarah find themselves stuck in a time loop and living the same day over and over again. They are drawn to each other, but certain revelations threaten their budding romance.
You know, I have a complaint about that, and I also have a complaint about the trailer. Did you watch the trailer?
I don't think I have recently. I think I have in the past, but I think it just doesn't really include Roy much. But why? What was wrong with the trailer?
So on Saturday night, Corey and I were like, should we watch this movie? Should we wait till tomorrow? Let's just look at the trailer and kind of see what we're getting ourselves into. So we watched the trailer and it just gave away everything, like all of it. We just knew everything. And so we ended up watching it on Sunday and we were just like, these fucking trailers ruin it.
I don't think I've ever watched a trailer ahead of time for a movie you picked. I think what I always try and do, if you pick the movie, so obviously I do the research for the podcast. As it's well known by this point, I'm the only one who does research for this podcast.
Absolutely. There's too many cooks in the kitchen if we're both doing it.
Yeah, you're right. All right, next time I'll let you do it and I won't do anything.
Mm-mm.
All right, when we do the Taylor Swift podcast, I'll let you do that. That's a reference to the mail from the last episode. Okay. I feel like it's so funny because I was just saying it's best to go into this episode, to go into this movie knowing nothing. And yeah, I think the moment you probably watched the trailer, it probably revealed way too much because I'm sure even the time loop is in the trailer. And I feel like if you watch the movie, it sort of withholds it a good amount.
Yeah, but it was immediate, like everything. And listen, I'm not suggesting that like made or ruined my experience. I'm just saying that like it was pretty ballsy, the trailer, that they just showed you what happened in the movie. But I do think that sometimes these plot descriptions also like go a little too far. Like I think mine was a very good, like, this is what this movie is about without giving you like the nitty gritty.
I guess it's almost like we're trying to give sometimes, I feel like, a one sentence concept. And I feel like sometimes IMDb does that. Sometimes IMDb is like, and in the end, one of them dies and the other one lives. And I'm like, no. Why would you say that? You know? Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, Gavin.
Taglines?
You want to play the tagline game?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I wish I had like music. I'm going to put in like the Price is Right music for like 2 seconds. No, I'm not. It's too much work. All right. One of these is real. 2 of these are fake.
Okay.
Nothing really matters, right? Live like there's no tomorrow. One of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
This is a tough one because the first 2 are very similar in style. The last one is a direct quote from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
My gut says only one of them is fake, or only one of them is real?
Only one is real.
Read them to me again.
Nothing really matters, right? Live like there's no tomorrow. One of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
So I'm going to scratch C. I think C is real. I think
there's only one real. So you're saying you think the infinite time loop one is the real one.
Oh God, I'm so confused. Yeah, I think that's the real one.
You're locking that in.
Yeah.
You are incorrect. I've got you.
Fuck.
Gotcha.
No. Damn it. What's the real one?
The real tagline is "Live like there's no tomorrow."
I actually thought that is way too stupid to be a real tagline.
And I'm gonna be honest. As we first started this call, I changed one of my fake taglines because I was like, "No, it's not good enough," and I changed it to that. Nothing really matters, right? Because at first I had it as a wedding day to regret.
Oh, that would have given that away. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Gotcha, motherfucker.
Wow, you really did. All right, you got me. You got me good.
I feel good now. I feel like we can move on through this episode and have a good time.
I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that this weight has been lifted.
All right. I feel like we've given enough of the plot in the summation that we shouldn't dive into spoilers unless we're diving into our opinions, which is full spoiler warning, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to get to our opinions?
Yeah.
Now that you've lost the tagline game?
Yeah. Now that I am the loser of this episode, I'm ready to discuss.
Take it away, loser.
In this critic's opinion,
that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion.
So I want to start by saying, you may not know this about me, and I'm not sure I've ever brought this up on the podcast. I don't think I've ever had reason to, but Andy Samberg is one of my top 5 celebrity crushes.
Really?
I know. Nothing
against Andy Samberg. He's not hideous, but really?
It goes beyond. Okay, let's dive into this, right? Because I think we can get a little Freudian here. First of all, he's the perfect combination of Jewish and not Jewish. Because he looks Jewish, but he's not I don't think he is Jewish.
Andy Samberg is not Jewish.
Oh, maybe he is. Who am I thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of Adam Driver. Is not Jewish, but he looks kind of Jewish.
Adam Driver just has a large nose.
What did I say?
Andy Samberg is Jewish.
Okay.
3/4 Ashkenazi Jew and 1/4 Italian.
Oh my. Okay. There we go. So I really appreciate that about him because he's just Jewish enough. He's very funny. He is very youthful looking, and I loved him on SNL. I loved him in just everything. I don't know. I just love him.
I really like him in The Lonely Island. I really like his Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Mm-hmm.
I Love You, Man. He's good in it. It's a smaller role.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? Obviously Hot Rod is a great movie. He kind of reminds me of an actor I know you hate, not looks wise, but in their comedy style wise. I don't think he's that different from Danny McBride. I think he plays different types of characters, but they deliver things in a very similar manner.
I think that what you're referring to is pretty privilege. Okay. Because when Andy Samberg does it, it feels a little bit more harmless and a little bit sillier. And when Danny McBride does it, it's oh, you're gonna light my front lawn on fire.
I think they can both play brashly immature characters, but when Andy Samberg does it, it feels like he's still immature, and it feels like Danny McBride is more crazy.
Yeah, and he seems like he lives in a trailer down by the river and is like on Neighbors. When we watch Neighbors and it's yes. He seems like a Neighbors guy.
I love Danny McBride. Honestly, they should be in more movies together. If you haven't seen it, watch Hot Rod. They're both in it and they're both great.
What did Danny McBride just do? Or just maybe I saw him. It was something very heartfelt. Not the movie, not the Millers versus the Machines. Mm-hmm. But I saw him either do an interview, whatever, or something. And I was like, oh my God, Danny McBride looking like a civilized member of society. What is this?
I don't know what you're talking about, but your hate for Danny McBride is unsubstantiated.
He reminds me of the fucking trash bag people from Long Island.
I don't know. He's allowed to be trash. He's great trash.
He's trash. As long as we can agree on that. You can one man's trash is another man's treasure. Am I right?
Maybe it's because I just saw Toy Story, but I find him relatable because Forky, he's just like me. Trash. You know what I mean?
He's Forky?
No, Forky is Tony Hale, but he has a line where he goes, "You're just like me. Trash." And I feel like I think of that all the time.
Tony Hale. Oh, that's great. You know what I think about from Impractical Jokers? You're hot and sexy. I'm garbage supreme.
I do not remember that.
Oh, it's one of my favorite lines. Okay. So I love Andy Samberg. The woman who plays Sarah
Kristen Milioti.
is the mother from How I Met Your Mother. That's the only thing I know her from.
I kind of have a crush on her. I think she's great.
She's so good. She was
Yes.
great on How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple of shows, I can't think of anything other than How I Met Your Mother right now, but where she'll come into a show that only has like a season left or a few episodes left and give a great guest star performance, and then nothing happens with it. And it's like, what a shame that she doesn't get to do more because she's a good actress.
Yeah, she should be much bigger.
Yeah.
I love her. She's so beautiful. She has these incredible huge eyes.
I literally said that while watching the movie. I was like, what big expressive eyes, like I was fucking Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes, yeah. But she also, I think, it has such an expressive face and again isn't riddled with Botox and filler. I absolutely love her. And then of course, a friend of the podcast, J.K. Simmons.
He doesn't know it yet, but he's a great friend of us.
Great friend.
He can
Close
do
personal
anything.
friend. Yeah. He can.
I was about to say, he could play the biopic for Muhammad Ali, and he'd be great.
He would be.
I would watch
Yes.
J.K. Simmons play a turtle.
I mean, certified turtle. He is unfucking believable. I always think about when he won the Oscar for Whiplash, and who was it? Neil Patrick Harris goes, he won an Oscar, bum 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 bum, and I think that is so stupid.
I do think it's funny for this Academy Award winning actor. Two of the more memorable things he's ever done are commercials. State Farm, and he's the Peanut M&M.
Yeah, and it's not State Farm; it's Farmers. I literally just sang the song.
Oof. We are State Farm.
It's so embarrassing. There's a new Farmers commercial, and I do not like it as
With the
much because I'm
choir?
like, where
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Where is J.K. Simmons?
I'm clearly very up on my Farmers. I just couldn't remember.
Oh my God, this just hit me like a ton of bricks. There was a probably like one season television show on NBC in like 2014, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there, where J.K. Simmons played a blind father. He was the father to this young boy, and he was blind. And it was such a heartwarming, beautiful show. It was super funny. And J.K. Simmons was amazing. And it got canceled after one season, I believe, but it was so good.
Growing Up
Help me
Fisher?
out.
Is that the show?
Yes, Growing Up Fisher. And it was like from the boy's point of view, but like as an adult, kind of looking back on his memories. I think it was a pretty like honest retelling of the director or the writer's experience with his father.
It was only 13 episodes, it looks like, but it seems interesting. It's got a pretty good cast too.
Oh my God. If you have time and can find it, watch it. It is so freaking good.
I also always talk about I think it's like the earliest thing that I can think of that he did that I know is Oz, and that's on HBO Max. Some of it is dated in the sense of just when it came out, but that's really the show I feel like that puts HBO on the map. And he is so good as Vern Schillinger, who is like the head of the white supremacist neo-Nazi type guys. He is phenomenal because in the first episode, there's like 5 minutes where he seems like he might not be the worst guy to our brand new guy. And then he's like, no, I'm about to tattoo a swastika on you and rape you. And you're like, oh my God, wait, he's bad. He's bad.
So I take it this is not like Wizard of Oz related.
No, it is not.
Okay. Got
I
it.
feel like there's allusions to like a Yellow Brick Road at some point in the show. I feel like they did that at some point.
Cheap. Yeah.
That's what I mean by like some things are dated. Like they had a musical episode at one point because they could. And I'm like, you are a prison drama. Why is there a musical episode? But it's a good show.
Well, okay.
And if you like SVU, there's like 800 actors from SVU who appeared on Oz at some point.
Naturally. Yeah. Cast really crushes it in this movie. Lots of other people who are like lesser known that I think do a fine job.
Yeah, I really like I don't even know what the character's name was, but he's the guy who said, I never should have left the Great Lakes. And he does this elbow dance at the wedding that I find really funny, where he's just like rocking his elbow back and forth. Like that's the move.
Yeah.
I also think I feel bad. I think I have the actress's name written down, but she plays Misty, the girlfriend of Andy Samberg's Niles, does a really good job.
Yep, I
And I
really like her
imagine they
too.
shot her part really fast because she just shows up in like 2 locations, I feel like, for the most part.
Yeah.
But particularly too, when Niles gets to the point where he is just repeating exactly what she's going to say before she says it, she's doing a great job reacting to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she did great. I recognize her from something. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But really, really good cast. What I want to talk about a little bit, because this is something that I've sat with for a couple of days now, is we obviously talk a lot about like plot devices. We talk a lot about like things that we've seen in other movies that have appeared in other places, right? But like the time loop thing, I feel is so closely associated with Groundhog Day
Mhm.
that it's very hard for me to watch this movie and not be like, oh, so it's Groundhog Day, right? And obviously there are differences, and I'm not suggesting that there aren't, but I'm wondering, like, how are there other examples of this that you can think of? And how do you reconcile that? Like, how do you kind of sit with it and think, like, okay, well, even though it's the same idea, it's a totally different movie. Like, it's fine.
There's been several movies and shows that have used this concept. And I think, yes, Groundhog Day is the inventor of it. So it'll always get referenced when you see a movie with a plot device that is a time loop. But the other one that I think of that is really huge was Happy Death Day. And that's a horror version of the time loop, but it still works. And, people would still in interviews be asking, like, oh, it's like a horror Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? So
I'm
it'll
going to say
always be
something right now.
referenced. What?
I'm sorry, and this is going to offend you, but like, I think horror is not a real genre. Like,
I think you
I
sound
don't,
stupid.
I know. And I'm just, I feel like, oh, well, it's kind of, to me, it's like when a porn is like, oh, it's Harry Potter and the Prisoner's Ass Cabin. It's like, okay, this is
Wait,
like,
is that real? Was that on the spot, Gav? That's a great fake title.
no. I think, what is that from? I think that's from a movie or a TV show or something.
Okay.
I definitely didn't make that up, but unless you think it's funny, in which case I did. To me, it's like, this is like a, like, I don't know. I feel like there are different rules for horror where like what's the thing that SNL is allowed to make fun of things for, like the parody law?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So SNL is allowed to like
If you're parodying
reference,
something, it's not copyright infringement. Is that what you're saying?
yes, like dumb Starbucks,
Yeah, sure.
I think it's parody law.
Yeah.
And so horror feels like it's employing parody law when it does things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I just feel like
I just think you don't have enough
version...
respect for the genre, because I think horror is one of the most inventive genres that there is. Like, I feel like horror can go 8,000 different ways and do whatever it wants to sometimes, more so than any other genre. Like, horror and science fiction can be some of the most out there, anything can happen genres. Anytime you watch a rom-com, you pretty much know exactly what's going to happen. Anytime you watch a horror movie, there are every different kind of horror.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking about like the Human Centipede. I'm thinking about
Oh,
that
sure.
Winnie the
There
Pooh
is,
horror. The evil
schlock of
Santa
horror,
Claus.
sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so listen, at least you know what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I loved Obsession. Okay.
Listen, I have much love for horror in my heart. Have you seen Obsession? Yes, Gav. You saw the most popular horror movie of the year. Good for you.
Yeah, and I really liked it. So I'm not like totally. I'm like one of those people that's like, I'm not racist. I have a black friend.
Oh my
That's
god.
me.
Where were we? How did that draw back to what we were talking about? Oh, because I said Happy Death Day is the horror
Yeah.
version
Yeah,
of
yeah,
this,
yeah,
which
yeah.
Happy Death Day actually does a very good job of the time loop, and it really uses her exploring her own character and realizing stuff about herself throughout it, because each time she dies it resets basically, instead of at night necessarily. I think what I like about Palm Springs versus a lot of other time loop movies is because you have multiple people in the loop, they can learn from each other in the loop. You know what I mean? Like Bill Murray, no matter what, just has to be there for a millennia, eventually learning on his own.
He's alone in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Niles feels like that character at first, but he very much learns from characters like Roy, like Sarah, who, Sarah could just as easily be as nihilistic as Niles, but instead is, I cannot do this anymore. I have to get out of here. And meanwhile, you have Roy on the other side who, instead of giving up, has said, I have made my place with being stuck here, but I'm kind of going to make the best of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find your
Yeah.
Irvine, I think, is like a really beautiful thing in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's got an Irvine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that they named this character Niles for that reason?
Yes. It is
Okay.
directly a reference to Niles.
That's what I thought. I was just curious. I was expecting the time loop thing to confuse me a lot more than it did.
You've seen Groundhog Day. You can figure this out. It's not like Your Name, which utterly destroyed you with the multiple timelines.
I thought that that's what was going to happen, though. I was like, any minute now, these three people are all going to be in different timelines, and I'm going to be so fucking confused. And then at one point, I did start thinking, okay, well, what about like the bride and groom? They're living the same day every day, too. Like, how come they aren't stuck? Like, and then I was like, that's not your problem. Don't think about that.
The difference is they're not. They're unconscious throughout this. So it's the same as Groundhog Day. The mayor in Groundhog Day is not reliving that day. He did the same thing every version of that day that Bill Murray does. It's Bill Murray who is aware of it and doing something different every time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not, because I'm going to get confused.
Okay. I just also feel like it does a really good job with, it doesn't have to, we allude to the idea of, yes, you would kill yourself a bunch of times. We have like one attempt at it, but we don't need a whole montage of that. I really like that we get a montage of Sarah and Niles having a lot of fun in the time loop concept, like them doing their little dance in the bar in their matching denim jackets. Adorable.
Yeah.
Matching leather jackets. But it's really nice the way that him accidentally bringing her into the time loop shakes him loose from his nothing really matters attitude.
Yeah.
It's also sad in the sense that by that point, it is no longer at a place where she can keep doing this, waking up where she wakes up. Because the only thing is they wake up in the same place every time. Yeah.
And are you ready to spoil that for everybody?
Yeah, because I think, honestly, I feel like the time loop hides what is the bigger spoiler, is we see Sarah continue waking up in this room and immediately leaving. Somebody, is out there. We find out that she is the maid of honor, the sister of the bride, and she has just had an affair with the groom.
The night before the wedding. And it like definitely hits you hard the first time you saw it. I feel like rewatching it, I definitely remembered it, but I was like, oh, that is awful. And like it makes it super understandable for why she cannot keep doing that. You know what I mean? Because what a regrettable decision it surely is. Yeah.
I do think it is like controversial. So at one point, they're trying to figure out, Sarah's trying to figure out how to get out of this time loop because Niles has given up. He doesn't even remember what life was before the time loop. Sarah says maybe we have to do one very selfless act. And her selfless act is literally at the wedding ceremony, she decides to whisper in her sister's ear and tell her what had happened the night before. We don't know that's for certain what she did, but we can assume. And obviously it does not work. It just becomes probably, I imagine, one of the worst days in the time loop.
Yeah.
Besides the ones where you die slowly in the ICU.
Right. Yeah.
Go on. I apologize.
No. I think what is really nice about this movie and what it does really well is it continues a lot of explanations where Groundhog Day leaves off. So, for example, they do a good job of explaining that like pain is still real. You still feel pain. And if you die and it restarts, that death is painful. It's, like you said, dying slowly in the ICU sucks. It still allows for the characters to have some semblance of like purpose, I suppose, like avoiding that pain. And I think, Groundhog Day, he does try to kill himself a couple of times. He just wakes right back up. It's like this gives a little bit more meaning to all of those actions. And I think end of sentence.
Does the trailer have the first time that Niles takes Sarah to the cliffs or like the cave area?
You see the cave, yes.
Okay, because I think the reveal of Roy, J.K. Simmons' character, catches you so off guard when they're getting ready to hook up and Andy Samberg pops off his shirt, which I think it's adorable. Sarah going, nice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we see Niles get hit by this arrow, and I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's shot, because I think what they do is they play it in reverse. Like, I think maybe there was an arrow in his shoulder and then he rapidly backed up and they pull out type of thing. But it just looks so odd to me, and he's just like, ah, you know. I think he says, like, I thought I smelled you, you piece of shit. Like, there's something so funny. If you're watching this movie, a lot's going on, but the moment Andy Samberg gets hit with the arrow, watch him run away, because it is a doofy, funny run, and it cracks me up every time.
Yeah. He is so funny. And I think he does such a good job of like he can be really suave, you know what I mean? Like he can be like a smooth talker and he's very charming, but he's definitely not like smooth in terms of like his physical nature, and the juxtaposition of him being like a smooth talker but then like running really silly and like not being in very good shape, and like I think it is so funny. I love that he really leans into those things.
I also think for somebody known for doing such broad comedy, I think he does a good job with like more serious moments in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we say all the
he's really
time,
talented.
every comic actor has a great dramatic performance in them, I feel like.
Yeah.
I could see Andy Samberg being able to pull off like a really good drama.
I would love to see it. I'd love your lips to God's ears. Let's make it happen. Um, I do, yeah. So the trailer does show you the cave. It shows you J.K. Simmons showing up for the first time. It shows you J.K. Simmons at the wedding. So you're like, you're aware of who he is when he shows up, even when he's got his face painted. It's very aggravating.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because there's two important things in this movie that I'll call a rom-com. It's a lot more than that. Like, there is a bit of science fiction to it, you know, but did you buy the romance?
Yeah, I did.
Did it make you laugh?
Yeah, it did.
Well, I already feel like I have a pretty good feeling about where this could go then. But there's a lot of stuff that's very funny in this. I guess I don't want to like spoil everything, because I really do want people to go watch it, because I feel like this movie really got screwed by the time it came out.
Yeah.
It's
Was
a
it
shame.
released in theaters?
I think it was released in like, I think I might have written this down. Hang on. It opened in 66 theaters
Oh,
because this
God.
was COVID. So I assume it opened in some drive-in theaters mostly.
Mhm.
But yeah, this
Yeah.
was mostly straight to Hulu, which is a
Okay.
shame, because it was obviously a big deal coming out of Sundance. It got picked up for, you know, a price that I'll talk about more when we get to the facts. And I could have seen this doing well in theaters too, because it's a fun time at the movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I think if it was playing in a movie theater, you know, next month, like I'll message you sometimes if a movie we did on the podcast is playing at the Huntington Cinema, because they play a lot of older movies. If Palm
Mhm.
Springs was playing, I think I would make an effort to go see it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that.
I also really like, you know, to go back to things I like about this movie, Peter Gallagher is such a good actor as the dad.
Yeah.
He either can only play a douche or a dad.
And
he's
how
a
about
fine
those
actor.
fucking eyebrows?
Is it Mr. Deeds where they're called caterpillars to his face?
Yes. Yes.
He's a great actor, but yes, he's got some eyebrows, and he can only play a douche or a dad through no fault of him. It's just all he can
Yeah.
do.
I mean, listen, you know, you got a skill set, you got to take advantage. You got to earn your keep, you know? Um yeah, I really like him. I also really liked Abe, the groom. I think for a small part that doesn't have a ton of depth, he was great.
So he actually, I want to say, I'm not sure if the show had started already or if it came out after this, but he became a much bigger deal. Tyler Eklund, I think is his name. He is the actor who plays Superman in, is it Superman and Lois or Lois and Superman? I think it's Superman and Lois is the name of it. It was on the CW. I watched 2 seasons of it. He's a good it came out the year afterwards. So he's a good actor. He's a good Superman. Ironically, you know who else is in Superman and Lois? Indy Navarrete from Obsession, who was Nikki.
Yes.
But he definitely is a good actor. It's definitely like a very small role. I
Yeah.
think the actor who plays Tala, the bride,
Mhm.
also a very small role. She's a big TV actor too, isn't she? I think she's from Pretty Little Liars.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but
Yeah. Um, I do want to talk about a part of this movie where I was a little uncertain at first on how I
Okay.
felt about it. And that is when Sarah decides that in order to get out of this time loop, so she and Niles have a bit of a falling out because he lied to her. He said that they had never slept together in his time loop. And he admits that that is not true, that he has slept with her before. So she's very upset. He lied to her. So she kind of does her own thing for a while and we don't see her. And as the audience, I mean, I was wondering, like, did she get out? Like, how is she not here anymore? Like, what happened? And we come to find that she decided enough was enough. And she started studying quantum physics to figure out how the hell she was going to get out of here. So every day she grabs her book, she like starts taking courses, she's talking to professors online, and she studies quantum physics to figure it out. And I definitely had a moment where I was like, really, guys? Like this is like the solution to the problem. She's gonna study, like I was like,
What do you mean? I think in reality that is the way you would solve the problem. It's either that or you go the hokey we had to do a selfless act to get out kind of route, which I think the thing I kind of like about it is it still very much embraces the idea of they needed to emotionally change. But I kind of like the idea that they technically could have gotten out without changing at all. Like they could have been the same piece of shit they were and figured this out type of thing. But obviously they have changed. Let me ask you something, because before they do get out, we get, this is locking in the version of this you're going to do. And it's meant to be, I don't know if maybe this is meant to be a more selfless version. Sarah finally gives her big maid of honor speech. And she gives a great speech talking about her sister and what a wonderful sister she is. And she looks at Abe and she's like, who is the groom that she had slept with the night before, and says, don't fuck this up. And I guess the point being that like she's not going to reveal it to her sister. And I guess hopefully this was the first time Abe had ever done something like this with his fiance sister. Is it, or is it the right thing or the wrong thing to do that she gives him a pass, I guess?
do you think that this is just her getting through another day in the time loop because she knows it's all going to reset tomorrow? Like, do you think that it is truly her trying to change him or fix whatever's going on? Or do you think that she's just like, I have nothing else. I don't know. I don't know what to say to you.
No, I think that's the heartfelt version that time. I think that she knows this is my last time doing this. I am either getting out of this time loop
Oh,
or I am blowing myself up. Because as much as she
yes.
studies, which apparently I think it was either the writer or director said, like, we determined that she's studied enough that she has like 2 doctorates in quantum physics, which they even show her talking to the professor who's like, I guess you don't need my help anymore.
Yeah.
Um, I do love that we see her studying and she falls asleep while studying and she just, resets herself, which I feel like would happen all the time. But where was I going with this? I think she knows like this is it one way or another. So that's
Yeah.
her saying like, this is the version I want to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot that that was the last
Yeah.
time. For some reason I thought that was like we're going to do something selfless, and then I forgot that's her telling the sister and it doesn't end well. Yeah, I think, oh God, is that the most selfless thing that you could do?
You
I
could really
sup-
argue it almost either way.
yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's selfless in that you are, I mean, I don't know. It's like selfless inherently means that you are doing what's best for the other person, even if it makes you uncomfortable or
Mhm.
it's not good for you. And I feel like in reality, what's best for the other person is to be like, hey, I know you're going to hate me for what I did, but you need to know that this person was not loyal to you.
Yeah. I mean, I do not disagree at all. I don't think it's the best thing to tell her right before I do, which is what she does when she's trying to be selfless. I don't think there's a right answer to it. I just think that feels more like this is a movie and we have to try and wrap things up in a nicer way. But
Yeah.
watching it, I really was like, I guess this is the best thing to do right now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah.
at the wedding,
Yeah.
maybe in the future at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Um, so this reminds me of a a funny situation that I had. So a couple of years ago, I posted something on Instagram and I don't remember the full context. So if this is boring, just cut it out. But I said something along the lines of like, anybody can kind of say whatever they want in terms of like the nutrition and fitness space and like cite like bullshit sources or like fake sources or make up their own sources or whatever. And that it's really important that like anything that you do or believe has research and evidence and human randomized control trials. And like you understand what it is that you're taking and are doing to your body. And like you can't really experiment with your health on things that, you're taking somebody else's word for. And somebody responded to me and they were like, well, I don't totally agree with this because we used to think that quantum healing was pseudoscience. And I was like, it is pseudoscience. Like,
what's quantum healing?
It's like healing people with like, I'm going to sound like a dick if I don't look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's like healing people with like vibrations. Quantum healing is a pseudoscientific wellness framework that blends ancient spiritual practices with misapplied terms from quantum physics. Popularized by Dr. Deepak Chopra in the 1980s, the philosophy claims that human consciousness and intentionality can alter biology at the subatomic level to cure disease and promote holistic self-repair.
I mean, I'm sure there is some validity to mental state can help you positively. I don't think it can cure your disease to be like, go away, cancer. Like,
yeah,
okay,
I'm gonna positive my cancer right out of me.
Yeah, there's some quantum bullshit here, but okay.
Yeah, but that is what it. So for a moment, I was like, quantum, like, oh my god. But then I realized that quantum physics is the real one. Quantum healing.
Quantum physics is real.
Yeah.
I do like also. I'm just pointing out something else I like in the movie. Happy millionth birthday, dipshit. I think is so cute. And I just imagine no one else understood what was going on there, but they did. And I think like it's very cute the way that they for a little while embrace we can enjoy each other's company and have no consequences.
Yeah.
No consequences.
Yeah. No, I really do like that. And I also think like what makes it a good rom-com is this idea that they truly built a friendship first, and the sort of like context in which there really are no consequences and there's no way for it to move forward at all because they're stuck in this time loop. So it almost becomes like we could have sex, like we could make this a thing where we are faced with this discomfort or like these problems constantly, but like why? Because we're stuck here. We have each other. Let's not fuck this up. Let's just enjoy each other's company and make the best of this. And I think that's so nice because if obviously they do have sex and it does get a little messy, right? But if they had done that from the beginning on the rocks, it would have just like she wouldn't have ended up in the time loop, or even if she did, it would have been weird. And it's nice to see a man and a woman be able to build a relationship before anything happens,
I do think that's a big part of the Niles character, though, is that he is having meaningless sex with Sarah with other people prior to.
Yeah.
He even tries to have sex with the bride at one point, we see when he, may I cut in. But
and the friend, right? The male friend.
He does have sex with the male friend, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what's great about Niles is once he knows that the other person is not going to reset, once he knows that Sarah will know this and they do actually have sex, it seems to actually awaken him because at first he really doesn't care anymore. And it's like one of the first times you see him excited to wake up. And the timing of it is unfortunate because Sarah really is like, I can't do this anymore by that point with what she's waking up with. But we actually see him, even though he's still in the room with Misty, excited to wake up. And if you compare that to the first time he wakes up where he looks at Misty and says like, will you please kill me? Like, which seems funny in the moment. You're like, he might be serious. Yeah. I love when he sees Roy the last time. He asks Roy to kill him just so he can beat the traffic.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes in this movie, suck my dick, officer, bitch.
Yeah. That is a good one. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the ending. So again, spoiler, we've spoiled this whole thing already. But it turns out that my friend Haley, remember the really tall guy from our wedding? His name is Niels. Yes. And so I'm going to continue to refer to Niles as Niels. Niles has a safe house where he has some relatives who have like a beach house or whatever, and they're on vacation, so he's able to use it. And we see him in the pool floating on a pizza floaty over and over again. And in the end, he at some point he says, "I'm not sure when they're coming home." And in the very end, he and Sarah are floating on their little rafts, and the family shows up, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing in our pool?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess they come back November 10th," and it's the day after the time loop. So that's how we know they've officially gotten out of the time loop. But I really, really like that little button on this movie.
I really like that. I really love, sometimes like the speech is a hokey thing, like you have to give the big speech at the end. But I think Andy Samberg does such a good job after Sarah says, you get one more sentence of him saying things and then him being like, comma, ampersand. And it all ends with, I'd rather die with you than live in this world without you. Emphatic period. And her just going, isn't that just an exclamation point? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I just think it's really cute. And the line that really sticks with me more than the speech is the next thing afterwards. Sarah says, what if we get sick of each other? And Niles says, we're already sick of each other. It's the best. And I just think there's something like really sweet about that idea of familiarity, that it's like, yeah, we're sick of each other, but there's also, I can't picture anyone else. And her saying, I could live without you, but maybe life would be a little less mundane with you in it. It's very sweet. And I think the only thing that like I didn't understand the first time I watched it, I feel like, was the dinosaurs, which comes out of nowhere. Me saying that at one point they're tripping on mushrooms in the time loop and they see dinosaurs. And we don't know if it's just them being high, if maybe they've done this day so many times over and over that something has happened there, but we see dinosaurs. And then at the very end, when they've gotten out of the time loop, we again see the dinosaurs. And I feel like I had to look into like the writer talking about it, and he sort of like wants to avoid saying too much about it. But I think what it can really be, he said somewhere, I'm trying to find it. The dinosaurs are somewhat of a symbol of the idea that true love can be seen as an impossible thing. And when Sarah and Niles fall for each other, they embrace life's magic. It reflects the surreal state of mind, first appearing in the middle of the movie with hallucinogenic drugs. Because they spend an eternity in the time loop, the boundary between reality, memory, and imagination becomes blurred. Seeing the dinosaurs reappear in the real world at the end hints that their newly freed life will remain just as wonderfully weird, unexplainable, and beautiful.
Okay.
I think it's nice.
Yeah.
And I think something that's also nice, because we don't see Niles trying to address it at all, is we see at some point Sarah leaving a voicemail, and we don't even really like know what it is. She's like, I hope I see you at some point. And for two characters who don't have much interaction, it's nice that she thought of Roy, who we get a little after credits button or mid credits button, where he is walking up at the wedding to Niles, hey, Shritbird, got your girlfriend's voicemail. And when he realizes that this is a version of Niles that doesn't know who he is, meaning that Niles has escaped the time loop, like the big smile on J.K. Simmons' face, I'm like, he's going to do it. Because we see that he's accepted it, and he's like, I found my Irvine. But he also laments, like, I'll never get to see my daughters grow up, never get to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
So you're really happy for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that moment of discovery. And J.K. Simmons is obviously so talented that he really, like, you see it all over him. And it's so good. Although I do think that Andy Samberg is such a, like, he just plays these rascal characters that you're waiting. I was waiting at least for him to be like, I'm just fucking with you. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't sure where it was going. And then when I realized that it was like a very, a scene done in earnest, it was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. What a horrible trick that would be to play. But yes.
Yeah.
All right, Gav, I think that's all the opinions that I have. Do you want to get us some facts?
I am ready for the facts.
I want the truth!
Face the facts, ducks.
Facts have no place with an organized religion.
Starting with our ratings on the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter, it has a 95%, 240 fresh reviews, 13 rotten, with an average rating of 8 out of 10, an audience score of 89% with an average score of 4.1 out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 7.4 out of 10. As we said, the movie released July 10th, 2020. It had a budget of $5 million. It grossed $1.5 million. opening 6th in 66 theaters. Do you want to know what was first at the box office the weekend of July 10th, 2020?
I really do. What was it?
A re-release of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back.
The best Star Wars movie of that trilogy.
Yeah, hey, I get people going to see it.
Yeah.
The critics' consensus: strong performances, assured direction, and a refreshingly original concept make Palm Springs a rom-com that's easy to fall in love with. I do find that ironic, though, to say a refreshingly original concept, which I guess it's not that often attempted, but it's well known, I don't know.
Yeah.
Brian Tallarico from RogerEbert.com. A wildly entertaining entry in a genre that is on life support lately, the romantic comedy. Peter DeBruge from Variety. Palm Springs is to time loop movies as Zombieland was to the undead genre, an irreverent take on a form where earlier iterations were obliged to take themselves seriously. Which I do kind of agree with. It really doesn't have to explain the time loop all that much. It's like, you know what this is.
Yeah. Well, I like that line from the movie where he says it's one of those time loop situations you might have heard about. It's like, yeah, that's all we need.
Matt Singer from Screen Crush. As Groundhog Day's various imitators have taught us, there's a certain amount of pleasure in repetition. And Brian Lowry from CNN.com. This feels derivative almost to the point of distraction. And while its try and try again exchanges can be pretty funny, the film feels as if it's laboring to flesh out even the under 90-minute running time.
Ew, shut up.
Letterboxd reviews?
Yes, please.
This one's from James. I felt so bad for Roy until that end credit scene. Thank God for that end credit scene. This one from Axel. Being stuck in a time loop with the angry bald guy from Whiplash is my greatest nightmare.
Amen.
Especially if he's apparently angry at you. Yeah. This one from Patrick Willems. Maybe a silly complaint, but it mostly skips my favorite part of every other time loop movie. The part where the characters get really good at memorizing the timing and routine of the day they're stuck in. Which I think we kind of see enough of Andy Samberg. The first time you see him, he knows what everyone's going to do dance-wise at the wedding. He knows everybody in the bar. I think we get it. I get what he's saying a little bit.
Yeah. Even the scene with Misty where he's just repeating, which I think they do it 3 times, which is perfect.
And last Letterboxd review from Dakota Joaquin. Andy Samberg is the final evolution of Michael Cera.
That is true.
Yeah, I guess maybe the midpoint then is the weird Venusaur is Danny McBride, maybe. I don't know. The movie is directed by Max Barbacow, who also directed The Improv Guru, Brothers, and Mommy, I'm a Bastard, which I loved the title of.
What is that?
I think it's a documentary.
Oh.
The screenplay was written by Andy Ciara, who also wrote Lodge 49, The Resort, and An Endless Wedding, which seems to just be Palm Springs, but a French version made by Amazon Prime.
Hey.
So, hey, he got paid twice for that screenplay. Good on you.
Get your money's worth.
The movie stars Kristen Milioti as Sarah, who you may know from How I Met Your Mother. She was the mother. The USS Callister episode of Black Mirror, and as Sophia Falcone in the Penguin miniseries. Andy Samberg as Niles, you may know from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Hot Rod, and Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. J.K. Simmons as Roy, who you know from Whiplash, Invincible, or as the voice of the Peanut M&M. Peter Gallagher as Howard, who you may know from Mr. Deeds or The O.C. Meredith Hagner as Missy, who you may know from Search Party or As the World Turns. Camila Mendez as Tala, who you may know from Riverdale, and she was just in Masters of the Universe. And lastly, Tyler Hoechlin as Abe, who you may know from Teen Wolf and Superman and Lois. Would you like some fun facts?
Please.
The opening song is Forever and Ever by Demi Rousseau. Sarah contacts a physicist named Clifford Johnson. This is the actual scientist who was a consultant for the movie and helped the filmmakers come up with the original premise for the time loop and escaping the time.
Dylan, I'm so sorry, but I have to ask, and this is so embarrassing, but time loops are not real, right?
How do you know unless you're in one, guy?
Because we
think about every Florida Man story. Maybe those people are just in a time loop.
I don't know. It's crazy to me that they're and we had a scientist to make sure that this fake thing we've invented is real. Huh?
I don't imagine you get paid that much just to consult on this, but if you get paid, some decent money to just be well, theoretically, if you were trapped in something, what would you do? And then they're having to say, well, theoretically, it's probably some form of massive energy that you would need some kind of thing to break out of. I don't know. It doesn't seem that hard to me. I could bullshit my way through it.
I guess. You'd think they tried to get Neil deGrasse Tyson and he was busy?
I think this guy, Clifford Johnson, I remember seeing him before. Maybe it's because he worked with Screen Junkies back in the day, but I think he does this a lot, actually, like on a lot of science fiction movies. He's a British physicist. I'm wondering if he has like an IMDb. Yeah, I think he's a professor of physics at University of California, Santa Barbara. Is this the same one? I want to make sure. Yes, it is. So I wonder if it says here just like other movies he's worked on. I think he worked on Interstellar. He was a science advisor for Fantastic Four, First Steps, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, it doesn't even say Palm Springs on here, but he's listed as an actor on here for Palm Springs, but he does consulting on a bunch of pop culture stuff. I think that's kind of cool.
Okay.
That'd be a sick job if you can get it.
Yeah, good for him.
Andy Samberg said multiple endings were written and even shot. They held private friends and family screenings of the different versions to get opinions on which ending worked. And he joked, it might not be perfect, but everyone seemed to like it.
Fair.
It holds the record for the biggest sale of a film at the Sundance Film Festival at $17.5 million and 69 cents, beating the previous record by 69 cents.
That's so dumb.
It broke the record for most viewed Hulu release in its first weekend on the streaming service. They initially shot the scene of Niles running naked through the desert with Samberg's stunt double, and then shot it with Samberg himself just in case it was too obviously not him. Samberg said, obviously the stunt double had the better butt, but my butt was the funnier butt. So it is his butt in the movie.
That's funny.
The temperature was in the mid-80s Fahrenheit during the filming of the reception, and bugs invaded the scenes. Much of the film's post-production efforts involved digitally removing insects.
Absolutely fucking not.
Which that sucks if part of your $5 million budget is going just to bug CGI.
Ugh.
The music cue after Niles smells the pillow and has a realization is a favorite of Andy Samberg's, although Akiva Schaffer made fun of it as being straight out of the Goonies, which I feel like I had read that before I rewatched the movie, and now I need to rewatch that part to see like what it is.
Yeah.
In discussing the movie, Kristen Milioti has said that she sees a time loop as a nightmare, but Andy Samberg said he would use it to rewatch shows he hasn't gotten to, like MASH or ALF.
That's funny.
Nana Schlieffen's dialogue hints at her being more than a background character. She said she's seen more weddings in her life than you can imagine, and says to Sarah, I suppose you'll be going soon, on the day she and Niles attempt to leave, suggesting she's also part of the time loop and has not attempted to leave it, instead opting to revisit her family's wedding every day.
You know, she's the old lady from The Notebook, right?
I don't think so. No, that's June Squibb. She became famous much more recently than The Notebook.
Oh, okay. I always confuse these two. I also think the Notebook lady died. Okay, June Squibb. Yes, this makes sense. She is so cute. I love her. And you know, I did feel like she was going to be a bigger role because everything she said, I was like, this means something.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting illusion and it makes for a fun theory, and I kind of like that that's all it is.
Yeah.
In an interview, writer Andy Ciara is quoted as saying that Niles was stuck in the time loop for over 40 years.
Ugh.
In the commentary cut of the movie, Andy Samberg revealed the scene where it's first revealed that Sarah had sex with Abe was distracting to early test audiences because Tyler Eklund's torso was so ripped. It was pulling attention away from Sarah's face and drama, so they used color correction to make it less noticeable.
That is so funny. Can you imagine you like work so hard on this body and then you go see this movie and they make you look normal?
Like, I'm sorry, I know you're about to be Superman, but please, you're distracting. And last fact I have for you, towards the end, before meeting up with Sarah to escape the loop, Niles is at the bar and he throws his glass on the floor while telling the bartender that he's an adult. A reference to the popular Lonely Island skit, Threw It on the Ground, in which Andy Samberg is the star.
Yeah, caught that.
All right, Gab, catch this. It's mail time.
Ooh, mail.
Mail time? When you control the mail, you control information.
Mom asked me to ask you if there's any mail for us here by mistake.
What?
So first, we have a couple of quick comments. This one was on the Obsession episode from JSF85, who said, I haven't listened since Dumb and Dumber. All the movie choices suck lately.
What did we choose after Dumb and Dumber? That was bad.
I don't know, but that wasn't very constructive, man. Make a suggestion, you jerk.
Yeah, what movies do you want us to talk about?
JSF, just shut the fuck up. Close enough. I don't know. All right.
Yeah, obviously this person isn't going to hear us, so.
let us, if you did happen to listen to this because you love Palm Springs. No. Yes, this would be in Palm Springs. If you did happen to listen to this, let us know if you like this movie.
Yeah.
And then we have a comment from Sharp Monkey 2 on The Thing. Good episode. Dylan and others who love this movie may want to check out The Thing Explained. It is a 5-hour documentary that released this year, which is extremely well made and which includes interviews with John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, Keith David, and tons more.
Maybe I would be interested in watching that.
Maybe I would be interested in watching that. For sure I would be. Okay. I'm very happy for Keith David. He's in Spider-Man Brand New Day is just like a voice, and he has that new show out on Cartoon Network, President Curtis, the spinoff of Rick and Morty. I like him. That's all.
You know, I know the guy who does the voice of, who's the young one? Rick?
Morty.
Morty is the young kid?
Yeah.
I know the voice of Morty.
Like, well?
Yeah. We went to school together. Yeah. Ian Cardone.
It's a small world.
Yeah. Funny, right?
He does a lot of, oh, geez, Rick.
Yeah. He's a super nice guy. Very talented. Happy for him.
I feel like people got very annoying with that show for a little bit, which drove me away from that show. And now recently I've kind of come back to it. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's not bad. It's good.
Yeah. Well, if you see the name Ian Cardone, just know that's a friend of mine.
Will do. Pick that name up, Gab. Okay. Speaking of names, we've got an audio message from our Canadian correspondent, Kyle.
Kyle.
Gab, Dylan, one of my favorite things about your podcast is the array of films in which can be brought to the movies to watch before you die list. And with Obsession, you get to talk about a really relevant film in the conversation now with blockbusters versus horror and whether it's going to make the list or not. And I don't want to give away the results of the last episode, so I won't. But it made me wonder, given that summer is half over at this point, do you have a vivid memory, something nostalgically baked in, when you went to the movies during the summer? My favorite experience is actually, it's closer to home than when I was a kid, but going to see Toy Story 3, I had just finished my first year of post-secondary, and going with my mom and my dad and my sister, and we all went through different generational responses to, at the time, what was one of the best film trilogies of all time. I'm really curious because your experiences are typically going to the movies together, so I'm excited to see what your answers are going to be. Keep up the great work. Hello, Dylan. I heard you. And also goodbye, Dylan. And goodbye, Gab.
I don't think I have one for us together, like a specific summer memory one.
I can drum up a few.
Is that just you remembering better than I do? I'm like, we've never even met in real life before.
Yeah, like what are you talking about? So I do remember a couple of different movies that we saw over the summer together. One of them being we went to see Wild Wild West.
Oh, okay. What? It makes sense. I blocked that out.
Yeah, we saw Wild Wild West. I also remember seeing T3.
Oh, we saw that together?
Yeah, because I had never seen T1 or T2, and I was like, yeah, I guess this is good. I don't really know what's going on.
I also know that's the first R-rated movie I saw in the theater, so I guess maybe that was for all three of us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing.
I don't remember. I also remember we saw Collateral. I don't know if that was over the summer, though.
Ooh, I really like that movie.
That's a good movie, yeah.
Tom Cruise should be a bad guy more often. I've thought about doing that on the podcast because I'm like, it's like the one time Tom Cruise was like, I'll be a weird bad guy. It's kind of like I am in real life.
That is true. He was kind of a weird bad guy in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, but that's more like an out there comedy thing. Whereas in Collateral, he's like, I'm going for it. I'm a villain. And he's really, really good.
We should do it.
Perhaps
JSF, let us know if that's okay.
We only if he lets us will we do it.
Yeah.
Or she. The other thing I always think of is, I mean, we both have summer birthdays, but I'm thinking of ones I went to, which Superbad, I remember seeing the 4-Year-Old Virgin, and I feel like I remember seeing Tropic Thunder too. And for at least Tropic Thunder and Superbad, I remember, because it was for my birthday, going to see it, dragging my grandma, who would have been at least in her 70s to 80s already by then. And she did not enjoy either one of those pictures at all. She was like, I'm
sure. I remember seeing Shrek for my birthday.
Okay. I remember going with grandma, and we were taking my nephew to see Hotel Transylvania 2 or 3.
Uh-huh.
And we came out of it, and I just remember looking at her and going, what'd you think? And she went, he had a good time. We both were like, yeah, that's about right.
Aw.
But Toy Story 3, if he brings that up too, I remember seeing that in the theater too. And it was senior year of high school for, I guess, both of us.
Mhm.
And I just remember the thing that always stands out in my mind seeing it with my high school friends is all of us like pretending we weren't getting emotional from Toy Story 3. And the other thing was 3 people came in dressed as Woody, Buzz, and Bo Peep. And when Bo Peep, it turned out, was not getting the, we were like, oh, like for her, we were like, oh.
So sorry. I remember seeing Toy Story 3, and it was the summer that you and I were going to college, and my brother was going into kindergarten. And I think that was the age difference between the 2 kids in the movie, and my mom had a full-blown mental breakdown.
Did you see
Like
Toy Story 5?
No.
Honestly, really good. I couldn't believe how much it because I didn't like 4.
I didn't even know there was a 4.
4 was fine, but 5 is much better.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm done with this.
I'm done with this too. Should we get to our verdicts?
Please.
Do or do not. There is no try.
The guilty will be punished.
Sentence is death.
I think it's really held together by those 3 main performances. Mostly Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti, but J.K. Simmons is great too. And I think every time that I'm like, well, this is just a fun, silly movie. And by the time you get to the end and that line about, we're sick of each other already, isn't it great? I think I just kind of like fall in love with that fake relationship. And I gotta say, it's a movie that I should watch more often because every time I watch it, I have a great time. And I'm gonna say it's a movie to watch before you die. Gab, what are you gonna say?
So I went into this movie knowing nothing about it, which I was actually kind of delighted about. You know, at first when you said it's called Palm Springs, my mind went to the movie Spring Breakers with like Selena Gomez, you know what I'm talking about?
And
I was
James
like,
Franco is like a pimp or something? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this strange pick, but okay. And obviously I mentioned we watched the trailer and I think it gave like a lot away. So I was a little disappointed then because like, oh God, now I feel like I know all the good parts. But ultimately, I think what this movie really has going for it is that it's an easy watch. It's very funny. It's very entertaining. Sometimes when I don't pick the movie, I'll pause it halfway and be like, how much longer do I have to sit here? Even if I'm enjoying it, I'm just like, how much more time until I'm done with this, you know? But not this movie. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was really funny. It was really sweet. It was not confusing, thankfully. And I would definitely call it a movie to watch before you die.
I am very pleasantly surprised because I never know with you, Gab. I never know.
I like to keep you on your toes.
Wow. Okay. Hey, that's all you can ask for. You know, that I feel like if I was actually an attorney, the moment the verdict came out, I'd be like, well, that's my time. I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's how I feel at the end of every episode where it goes well. I'm like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm like, say the things, say the things.
Yeah.
Say
I loved it.
things,
You had
Gab.
me at Andy Samberg.
Really?
Just to be clear.
Have you ever seen Hot Rod?
No, but I've seen Never Stop, Never Stopping. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Fuck you. Are you kidding me?
I might do Hot Rod at some point now.
Okay. But doesn't that have the fucking trash monster that I hate in it?
It has a great cast though. It
Who
does
else
have
is in
Danny
it?
McBride in a small role, Bill Hader, Ian McShane, Isla Fisher, Will Arnett.
I love Will Arnett. I'm in.
I
Done.
can't remember
Will
who plays his
Arnett.
mom. Somebody famous too. Will Arnett is great in that movie as like the douche.
You watched Arrested Development, right?
Years ago, but and I never saw like the Netflix season, but yes.
Okay. All right, good. If you enjoyed this podcast, we are held together by viewers like you. So please go to the link tree in our description and click around a little bit. All right. Every little click helps. I want you to click around on the link to the Hall of Pods podcasting network. Check out our friends there. I want you to click around to the link where you can find our merch store and you can buy stuff with our logo on it. I want you to click around to my Venmo and consider tossing me $1 or $2. It ain't easy out here. And lastly, of course, I want you to consider sending us an email at movies-to-watch-before-you-die@gmail.com, where you can send us movie recommendations, which we probably won't get to, but you can also send us your thoughts, feelings, opinions on this movie or any other movie. We are likely to read them on air and react to them. I cannot promise you're going to like the reaction you get, but certainly it's worth a shot. And lastly, I just want to remind you that if you are stuck in a time loop, we have so many episodes for you to listen to. Please go back, start from the beginning. You'll enjoy them all. Dylan, let's get out of here.
I was going to make a joke about PBS and be like, if you subscribe, we'll send you a tote bag. And then I remembered, I think we actually have a tote bag on our website. And I'm like, don't say that. They'll think there's a free tote bag.
There's no free tote bag, but you can buy a tote bag. And also, you know, I remember watching PBS as a kid and being like, it's funded by viewers like you, and thinking, me? What?
I gotta check my piggy bank. Was I robbed?
Yeah. I'm like, am I allowed to turn it off if I'm done?
I'm over this Arthur episode, but do I have to keep watching now?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Cool. Peace out.
Are you fucking cheating on me?
No. You're cheating on me, you goof.